I didn't need you to save me or carry my weight. I just needed you to notice before it was too late. I told you in small ways I wasn't okay. You heard the words but looked away. I would have healed faster if you cared. You let me hurt while you stayed calm. You watched me break and called it strong. I kept giving you chances, you gave me space. I was bleeding quietly in the same place. I learned how to smile through it so you wouldn't feel bad. I made my pain manageable so you wouldn't be sad. You said you didn't mean to. You said you tried, but love doesn't leave someone behind. I wasn't asking for perfect, just present. You let me hurt and called it time. You said I'd heal, I crossed that line. I stayed open, you stayed unsure. Needed comfort, you needed more. Maybe loving you meant loving less. Maybe I matter most in the past. I don't blame you for not knowing what to do. I just wish you'd chosen me too. You let me hurt, but I survived. I learned how to stand on the nights I cried. I won't stay where my pain is unseen. I loved you honestly, you let me bleed. I stopped asking you to see me when I finally saw myself. You let me hurt. Your shoes are still by the doorway, like you meant to come back soon. I keep the lights on in the evening, like I'm waiting on you. I know the facts, I know the truth, I know you're not around, but every part of me still listens for the sound. You didn't disappear. disappear all at once. You faded out. You're gone somehow, but I still feel you here in the way I turn around, like you might still be near. I understand the words, I just don't know how. My heart still believes you're gone somehow. I tell myself you chose this, that leaving was your right, but reason doesn't quiet what I feel at night. You moved on into your future like it wasn't hard. I stayed behind collecting the pieces of who we are. I don't reach out anymore. I just remember you're gone somehow, and I don't know when. I crossed the line between us, and then you said goodbye so gently, like it wouldn't break me down. I know you left, but I don't know how. Maybe love doesn't vanish, it just loses its place. Maybe my heart's still living in yesterday. I don't need answers, I don't need the why. I just need time to catch up with goodbye. You're gone somehow, but I'm still here, learning how to breathe without you near. One day this will make sense, one day I'll know how, but tonight it still feels unreal. You're gone somehow. I say your name, then remember you're gone somehow. We used to talk until the morning, like time didn't exist. Now words fall between us and don't know where to sit. You still say you're listening, but I can feel the space between what we don't say now and what we used to say. I kept waiting for your voice. It never came. Love went silent right in front of me. I kept speaking from my heart. You stopped answering. No slam doors, no final fight, just the sound of nothing. Every night love went silent. translating quiet into signs. I talked us through the distance alone. Love went silent while we stayed the same. We still said I love you, but it didn't sound the same. You didn't say you were leaving, you didn't lie. You just stopped meeting me in the reply. Maybe love doesn't end in words, maybe it ends in pause. In unanswered questions and conversations lost. I don't blame you for the quiet or needing peace. I just didn't know silence could hurt this deep. Love went silent and I heard it then. In the empty spaces where we used to begin. One day this won't echo so loud. One day I'll be alright, but tonight I'm sitting with the truth. Love went silent. I kept listening, even when nothing replied. We didn't fight, we didn't scream. Nothing shattered in the room. You just stopped reaching for my hand, and I felt it too soon. There was no final sentence, no dramatic goodbye. Just longer spaces in between your life and mine. Love doesn't always end loudly. Sometimes it fades. I lost you quietly between hello and goodnight, and all the things we stopped saying, trying to keep things alive. No one saw it happening, no one knew but me. You didn't leave suddenly, I lost you quietly. You smile like you always did, but it didn't feel the same. Your eyes were somewhere far away, even when you said my name. I told myself it was just a phase, just a little space to breathe. I didn't know I was slowly learning how to grieve. I stayed hoping for a moment you'd stay. I lost you quietly while we still looked okay. You were already letting go, I was trying to stay. You didn't break my heart. I just wish I'd known which goodbye would be the last one we'd say. I lost you quietly, and I'm still here, sorting through the silence, trying to make it clear. One day I'll stop asking how it came to be, but tonight I'm sitting with the truth. I lost you quietly. There was no moment, just the absence. I lost you quietly. You came into my life like something I didn't plan. I said I needed time. You held out your hand. I thought love would wait for me. I thought I had control. I didn't know delaying you meant losing you. You asked for certainty, I offered almost. I wasn't ready when you needed me. I loved you in pieces, not completely. You waited longer than you should. You gave me every chance. I wasn't ready, and now you're gone. I hid behind my reasons, called fear being smart. I said I had to work on things while you worked on your heart. You learned how to stop hoping. I learned too late that love doesn't pause for hesitation. You moved on with your life. I stayed with the truth. I wasn't ready, but I loved you then. I just didn't know how to let you in. You needed more than promises, more than maybe plans. I wasn't ready, and now I understand. Maybe timing is everything. Maybe love alone won't do. I had something real with you, and I let it slip through. I don't blame you for leaving. I'd have done the same. I just wish I'd been braver before it was too late. I wasn't ready, but I've grown since then. I see what I lost. I see where I went wrong. One day I'll be ready for something true, but I'll always remember I wasn't ready for you. You asked me to choose. I waited. I wasn't ready. stood there for a moment, like you had more to say. Your eyes traced the floor, then you turned away. I waited for a reason, something I could hold, but you just stepped forward and left me cold. I didn't chase you, I just watched. You walked away, like it was simple, like we hadn't built a life between the little things. I stayed right where you left me, with words I couldn't say. You didn't drift or hesitate, you walked away. You said this was for the best, said we'd both be fine. You spoke in future tense like mine wasn't tied to mine. I nodded like I understood, like I agreed, but my heart was still begging you to see. You chose movement, I chose us. You walked away without looking back. You didn't ask if I was ready for the impact. You took your certainty and sealed my doubt. I was still holding on when you walked out. Maybe leaving was easier than trying again. Maybe loving me was heavier than you said. I don't hate you for choosing peace or finding your way. I just wish I mattered enough for you to stay. You walked away, and now I know some endings don't explode, they just go. Learn to live with what remains, learn to be okay, but I'll always remember the day you walked away. The door closed softly, nothing left to say. You walked away. You walked away. You said it once, real gentle, like you practiced it all day. I think we're better letting go. Then you turned and walked away. I nodded like I understood, like my heart wasn't breaking through. You left believing love had ended. I didn't tell you it was still you. I held it together while you closed the door. But love doesn't listen to reason anymore. I loved you after goodbye, after the words were said, after you stopped calling my name and started calling it the end. I loved you in the silence, in the spaces you weren't near. You let go to save yourself. I stayed. I loved you after goodbye. I erased wasn't safe or smart, when loving you was just a habit written deep inside my heart. I loved you when you didn't, when you were already free. You moved on with your life, I stayed where we used to be. Maybe love isn't about who stays or who knows when to leave. Maybe it's who keeps showing up even when there's nothing to receive. I don't regret the way I loved, I just wish it didn't hurt this deep. You learned how to forget me, I learned how to keep. I loved you after goodbye, after hope had disappeared, after every what if and every unshed tear. One day I'll love someone new, and it won't feel like a lie, but part of me will always say I loved you good after goodbye. You loved me for a moment, I loved you after goodbye. You took your side of the story, left mine here on the floor. You packed up all the reasons I was still fighting for. You said you needed freedom, said you couldn't stay. I watched you walk away with everything we made. You left with all the answers, I stayed with the pain. You walked out whole, I stayed undone. You found a future, I lost one. You carried hope into something new. I was left with nothing after you. The room feels unfamiliar, like it doesn't know my name. I learned how fast forever can rearrange. You look lighter from a distance, like love didn't cost a thing. I'm holding on to fragments of everything. I don't blame you for choosing peace, I just wish it didn't leave me empty. You moved on strong, I came undone. You kept your heart, I lost mine. You said we'd both be okay in time, but I was left with nothing after you. still here, still breathing through the quiet, still standing in the fear. One day I'll build something new from what's undone, but tonight I'm sitting with the truth. I was left with nothing. You took the last of us. We didn't break in obvious ways. No slam doors, no goodbye. Just smaller conversations and longer night. I kept adjusting my heart to fit the space you made. Calling distance temporary, calling silence okay. Oh, nothing looked wrong from the outside, but I knew love hurt quietly while we smiled through the days. It wore me down gently in invisible ways. No one saw the damage, no one asked why. Love highly, love hurt quietly. You were still right beside me, but somewhere else inside I learned how to feel alone with you by my side. I didn't need a reason, I didn't need the truth. I just needed to stop pretending this wasn't hurting too. I stayed calm, I stayed small. Love hurt quietly every time I stayed, every time I chose us and felt you fade. It didn't mean to wound me, you just didn't try. Love didn't break my heart, it hurt quietly. Maybe the hardest pain is the kind you can't explain. When nothing looks wrong but nothing feels the same. I don't blame you for changing or needing space to breathe. I just wish love hadn't cost so much of me. Love hurt quietly, but it hurt all the same. I learned that silence can still call your name. One day this ache will soften and pass me by, but tonight I'm sitting with the truth. Love hurt quietly. There were slow moments, just the ache. Love hurt quietly. The house is quieter than it used to be. Every sound feels new. I walk past all the places that still feel like you. I thought I'd fall apart completely, thought I'd disappear, but somehow through the wreckage I'm still here. didn't win, I didn't heal, I just stayed. I'm still standing here after all the nights I broke, still breathing through the silence, still learning how to cope. I don't feel strong, I don't feel clear, but I didn't vanish when you left. I'm still standing here. Some days hurt less than others, some days hurt the same. I still say your name in my head like a habit I can't break. I don't wake up missing you, I wake up missing me, the version I was before you left quietly. I didn't move on gracefully, I survived. I'm still standing here with scars I don't show. I carry what we were everywhere I go. I don't call it healing yet, I just stayed sincere. I didn't become who I was before, but I'm still standing here. Maybe strength is staying present when everything feels thin. Maybe courage is just choosing not to give in. I don't know who I'm becoming, I just know I stayed when it would have been easier to fade. I'm still standing here, not proud, not whole, but breathing through the aftermath, learning how to hold myself together piece by piece. Through doubt and fear, I didn't win the ending, but I'm still standing here. I lost you, I lost us, but I'm still standing here. I tell everyone I'm fine now, say I've learned to move along. I laugh a little louder, like nothing ever went wrong. But every song still finds you, every quiet room does too. I've learned how to act okay, I just haven't learned the truth. I don't bring you up anymore, but you're still here. I'm not over you, no matter what I say. I've gotten good at hiding it, but it hasn't gone away. You don't cross my mind sometimes, you live there, it's true. I'm getting through the days, but I'm not over you. I don't check your social, I don't ask about your life, I don't say your name out loud like it still holds a night. I've packed away the memories, but they know where I sleep. They show up uninvited when I'm trying not to feel. I don't reach for your number, but my heart still does. I'm not over you, and I wish I was. I've forgiven what I needed, but I still miss us. You've moved on into something new. I stayed halfway through, learning how to let go. I'm not over you. Maybe healing isn't linear. Maybe love leaves marks. Maybe I don't need to erase you to restart my heart. I don't want you back, I don't need the past. I just need to say it once without pretending it lasts. I'm not over you, but I will be someday. This ache won't last forever, even if it stays a little longer than I want it to. I'll make it through. I'm learning how to live again. I'm not over you. I don't miss who you are now. I miss who you were with me. I'm not over you. You said you needed time, didn't say how long. I told myself love waits, even when it's wrong. I watched the seasons change while you stayed unsure. I kept the door unlocked just in case you were. I heard every warning, I stayed. I waited anyway, even when the signs were clear, even when your silence said you weren't still here. I knew I was alone, I knew what I should do, but hope kept me in place. I waited anyway for you. I made excuses for you like they were my own. I learned how to be lonely without being alone. You lived your life between us like I wasn't there. I held on to the space you wouldn't share. I didn't need the truth, I needed you. I waited anyway while you moved on. I stayed loyal to a maybe long after you were gone. I don't regret loving you, I regret the delay of loving myself sooner. I waited anyway. Maybe patience isn't noble when it costs your heart. Maybe waiting was my way of falling apart. I don't blame you for not choosing me or knowing what you need. I just wish I'd known waiting was also a choice I made. I waited anyway, but I won't again. I'll take the love I offered you and give it back to me. One day this won't ache so much. One day I'll be okay. But tonight I'm naming the truth. I waited to be gentle, to be real. I showed up when it mattered. I said everything I feel. I stayed when it got heavy. I didn't run or hide. But love doesn't follow effort, no matter how hard you try. I wasn't careless, I wasn't cruel, I just wasn't chosen. Love didn't choose me, no matter how deep I gave. I was standing right there, still watching it walk away. I did all the right things, I loved honestly, but love didn't choose me. You said I was important, just not the one. Said my heart was safe, but not where you belong. I memorized your sadness, made room for your fears. I didn't know being enough could still end here. You found something missing, I became the proof. Love didn't choose me, even at my best. I gave you all my patience, you needed something else. I don't hate you for leaving or choosing what you need. It just hurts to admit love didn't choose me. Maybe love isn't fair, maybe it doesn't see how much someone is willing to break for it to breathe. I know I'll be chosen someday by a heart that stays, but tonight I'm sitting with the truth and the weight. Love didn't choose me, but I was real. I loved with my whole heart, I didn't hold back how I feel. One day this won't define me or make me feel unseen, but tonight I'm learning love didn't choose me. I wasn't too much, I wasn't wrong. Love just didn't choose me. I used to know where I fit, and the way you said my name, in the space beside you that felt like home to me. Now every room feels borrowed, every moment feels unsure, like I'm standing in a life that doesn't know me anymore. I didn't lose my way once, I faded out. I lost my place somewhere between us and goodbye. still standing, just not where I used to be. I lost my place. We started letting go before I understood. I felt the shift between us, didn't know what to do. I told myself love stays even when it's hard. I didn't know I was guarding the closing heart. You were learning how to leave us stay. To breathe, I gave you all of mine. I called it being patient, you called it time. I softened every question so I wouldn't push. I didn't know silence was something I shouldn't ignore. I kept the light on, you stopped coming home. I stayed loving while you changed inside. I kept believing you'd still try. You didn't lie, you just didn't choose. I stayed loving long after you were through. Maybe loving you meant forgetting myself. Maybe staying loyal meant losing my sense. I don't regret the love I gave or how deep it went. I regret staying quiet when I felt the end. I stayed loving, but now I see love isn't meant to be carried by heart alone. I'll take the love I gave you and give it back to me. I stay loving, now I'm letting me breathe. You let go, I stay loving. I stay loving. You answered, but you weren't listening. You smiled, but it didn't stay. Your hands were always somewhere else, even when you held my face. I started choosing softer words so I wouldn't push too hard. I didn't know I was already losing your heart. You were right beside me, but I couldn't reach you. You felt distant, even when you were close, like your mind was already somewhere I didn't know. I tried to hold on to stayed quiet to keep you. You pulled away anyway. You felt distant and I felt it too. I was reaching for your heart. You were halfway through, leaving without saying what you were missing. You didn't end the love. You felt distant. Maybe love doesn't disappear. Maybe it drifts. One unanswered question, one small shift. I don't hate you for changing. We're needing more space. I just wish you told me before I tried to stay. You felt distant, and now you're gone. I'm replaying all the moments where it went wrong. One day I'll stop tracing what was missing, but tonight I'm still standing where you felt distant. You were here, but not with me. You felt distant. I kept blaming the distance, the hours, the days. So we were just tired. The love doesn't stay the same. I adjusted my expectations, lowered my voice. I didn't notice when loving you stopped being a choice. I stayed the same. You moved away. You changed first. I just reacted. I tried to save what you'd already unpacked and left behind. I wasn't too much. I wasn't wrong. I was loving someone who'd already moved on. You stopped asking about my life, like you'd already decided that the answers wouldn't matter once your heart was divided. I kept reaching for reassurance. You called it doubt. I was trying to stay connected. You were halfway out. I held on harder. You let go. You changed first. I felt it then. I tried to meet you where you were, but you'd already been somewhere I couldn't follow, somewhere alone. You were waiting for me. You were already gone. Maybe change isn't betrayal. Maybe it just is. But silence isn't kindness when someone still exists. I don't hate you for evolving or needing something new. I just wish you'd said it sooner.